Hey guys, so I'm back with another video. This time I'm going to talk about why I rejected an offer to study at Oxford. And it's going to be a short and sweet video, not like my other long ones, because I can't have all these lights on me for longer than 5 minutes. I am dying. But yeah, I'm just going to get straight into it.
I don't see how you can hate from outside of the club. You can't even get in.
So my story isn't like some dramatic, like I don't have a personal vendetta against Oxford. They didn't do me dirty. They didn't like do anything. I don't have anything against them. It's just like it can literally be summarized into two things. First of all, it just wasn't the right timing. And secondly, it wasn't the right course. That's literally it. So I applied to Oxford in 2015. That's when I was in year 13 and I got my offer. I don't have like the cute UCAS stuff because my one doesn't have my name in it because I didn't think to scroll to where it says welcome back Raneem. Anyway, so I applied to experimental psychology. I didn't even say that. I applied to study experimental psychology and philosophy at Oxford, and I actually only ended up getting an offer for experimental psychology because I bombed my philosophy interview, but I'll talk about that in a different video. And the conditions were I get A star AA, but I actually ended up getting A star AB. But I still got my offer. So this is the one I got on August that you get the day before results day, and it basically just says you've still got your offer. Right, so despite that, I still chose to reject the place in the end. So yeah, I'd applied to study at St. Anne's College, but a week before, like, I started to have some doubts about going.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go. You can't make me. I don't want to go.
I'm afraid we're going to have to insist.
So in terms of wrong timing, what I mean by that is I went to a state school from year 7 to 11, then I moved to a grammar school for sixth form, and that move was like hella dramatic. I'm not gonna lie, the atmosphere was so different to what I was used to. So like when I was in a state school, I had relationships with all my teachers. I took part in literally every single extracurricular club. I was that girl. Like, I did the most, but I really enjoyed it. Like, I can't talk about it in any other way. I really enjoyed school. Like, and then when I went to the grammar school, it was really different. Like, my main thing in school was netball. And then when I moved to the sixth form, they didn't have a netball team. My year group didn't have a netball team. It was very academically focused. And it had like a really similar layout to uni. I wasn't used to it. Like, obviously, if I had been at that school from before, I feel like I would have been used to what was going on. But I feel like as a new girl going into this, it's quite, what's that word? Like a culture shock. Like, it's different. So it took like a lot of adjusting. So the more I thought about going to Oxford, the more I thought this is going to be so academic, just like my grammar school. And for me, I'm not the type of person that can balance academics and extracurriculars and social life well. I can either do one or the other. I can't multitask. So I knew that if I was to go to Oxford and want to achieve like high grades, I would have to sacrifice my social life for that. And I just didn't want that for myself for the next 3 years because I had that for 2 years. So for me, I knew that I wanted that balance. And I did get that at LSE. LSE, I did have the pressure on me to do really well, but I still had the time to work a part-time job. I still had the time to join societies. Like during second year, I had leadership positions in 2 societies. I was captain of the ice hockey netball team and I was marketing officer for Arab Society, and I had 2 jobs and I had uni, and I managed to manage them well, like my social life, my job life and my academic life. I would have fallen apart at Oxford. And I firmly believe in everything happens for a reason. So like the jobs that I did have, I've met really incredible people. When I had my internship last summer, I've met people that I admire and I respect and I hope to stay in touch with for the rest of my life. And I know that sometimes you do have to step out of your comfort zone, but I just know that after I just had 2 years of intensity, I just needed some comfort. I stepped out of my comfort zone for sixth form, and for me that was kind of like enough for this phase of my life. Now, another reason, I did talk about this in my Being Black at Uni video, there weren't many people who were like me when I went to Oxford to visit, and when I went for the summer school, people will say like even in LSE it's quite a white uni. But I did have the opportunity to connect with other universities, and the majority of my friends are actually not from LSE that I made during uni. So I think that's the nice thing, you can balance it out in London. Another thing is Oxford is so different to London. 100% it's cheaper, which is great, but then as a Muslim woman, there's no halal food. Like, I was living on pasta for the week, but when I go to LSE, there's like halal burger place, chicken, steak, anything I want is basically halal. Halal sushi. Have I gone through everything now? Oh, wrong course. So the reason I'm saying wrong course is basically I've never been 100% set on a degree to study, because I'm the most indecisive person you will ever come across in your life, which is probably why both times I applied to uni, I applied for double degrees. So I applied for psychology and philosophy and anthropology and law. Completely different. Obviously can't make my mind up. And just, I needed two just in case I didn't like one. I had another one to go to. Generally with psychology, I loved psychology at A-level, but I only liked social psychology. I never liked biological psychology or the clinical side or any of that part of it, which is a huge part of psychology. And in a course called experimental psychology, it's basically the only part of psychology that you study. So like, as I said before, I did the summer school there the year before, and we spent, I remember one of the lessons we had to dissect a brain, and as I was doing it, I was like, nope, this like is not for me. Like, I'm not enjoying this, I don't want to do this. It just wasn't the right thing for me. And like, just because something is like a huge brand name, or not brand name, but like it's a huge name or like well known or renowned, you don't have to do it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Like, everyone in my sixth form was applying to Oxbridge, and I went along with them because I was like, why not? But I think a small part of me, a big part of me just didn't think I'd get in. But like, then when it is the final thing, I'm just kind of, that's when I started thinking, is this even right for me? But that's what I should have thought from the beginning. And that's kind of like where I went wrong in the whole process. But yeah, those are basically my reasons. The main thing that I got out of this and what I want to advise people is just do what's right for you, like in every level, in every area of life, and follow your instincts. And there's the saying that's like, reach for the stars, and even if you fall, you land on the moon. But like, reach for the stars, and then you never know, you could get the star, and then once you get the star, keep reaching for stars. Okay, my adaptation of that was rubbish, but basically what I mean is I went for it even though I didn't know I could go for it, and what I got out from that was a huge confidence boost. And it just means that now whenever I apply for things, I never have that mentality that's like, oh, I could never get in, so there's no point applying. I just always go for it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. You know the drill. Like and subscribe, and yeah.